The Story of a Lover with a Childish Heart, 7th part. The young man left while she was drowning in her tears. She was sad for his loss and his separation, and the bad idea he took from her. Do you feel resentment towards a friend of her age, or do you seek excuses for her? She does not know to blame her friend, because she was the reason for her to know him. Or does she blame herself for not adhering to her limits, and declaring something that was not and never will be for her? The young man was in his car, and he was so sad that he could not make him tell before his eyes the tape of his memories of the girl. The one he loved and still loves from the bottom of his heart, and all the situations that brought him together when he came home, so he remembered. The rainy day the girl came to work and her hair was so messy, it doubled in size. When they were young, such a situation happened to the extent that he alerted her to her hair, and she was ashamed of it. He remembered her contact with him while she was in a state of resentment over his harshness in dealing with her. He used to find himself drawn to her and her actions, and always thinking of her. He used to distract himself from that by constantly scolding her, and her actions did not please him, whatever they were. He was upset when she stuttered in front of him. But now he knows the reason behind her strange behavior. She remembers calling the green traffic light go. She used to call it that way when she was young, and also when she was growing up. He remembered her hating the rain, and he remembered when he was afraid of the rain and it had already covered his body. She got off and took her scarf and put it over his head. The same thing she did with him when she was young. She remembered her laughter when she saw him removing peas from his vegetable plate. He hadn't liked them since he was young. Memories were passing before his eyes. His eyes were teary. He couldn't control his feelings. He felt confused by a big mistake, and the girl wouldn't forgive him. He didn't recognize her despite how much love he felt for her in his heart. Meanwhile, the real girl was with the person who loved her from the bottom of his heart. They had bet on something and the girl lost. The loser had to fulfill 3 wishes for the winner, and the young man had already consumed 2, so the third remained. Young man, I think I will use the last request now. My last request today is... Before he could finish his words, he took her and put her in his arms. Young man, if you are so hesitant, and cannot go to him, then come to me. He left her and she looked at him and did not know what would please him, or what to tell him. Young man, I also need a second chance like him. He let go of her from his bosom but held her hand, his eyes fixed on her eyes, despite his comic personality on the pile. However, in these moments he was very serious and strict, and was not going to make her smile as usual. The girl stuttered and hesitated. She was lost, not knowing what to tell him. And if the phone rings in her hand, her manager was a friend and lover of her childhood. The young man noticed his name and called her to answer his call. Her manager in a broken voice, "It's been a long time since you met. The girl was surprised. It's been a long time? Sorry, but we were away from work a few hours ago. Director, I miss you, my friend. At this moment, tears welled up in her eyes. Director, where are you? I want to meet you right now. As if his heart feels what they are saying to her. Young man, don't go to him. Please don't do this to me. Girl, I don't know how to apologize to you, but She stammered again, and forced herself to go away from him to meet her childhood sweetheart. She left him and she does not know the extent of the wound she inflicted on his heart from what she did to him, but she was also very happy, and she will finally meet her childhood friend. The first and last love of her life, she was in a state of ecstasy and happiness that did not allow her to evaluate other matters of life. And like their first destined stand, they were talking to each other on the phone until they found each other's place. And if he gives him her back while she is looking with her eyes on the opposite side, he holds her hand and makes her turn to him, and as soon as her eyes fall on him, she finds traces of crying on him, and a tear was trapped in one of his eyes. Director, finally I found you. Continues. Part 8.